Hi, it's Miss Becky, and I'm so excited today to share with you the story of Easter. Easter's coming up really soon, and this is a chance for me to tell you why we celebrate Easter, what the real story is behind Easter. And our story about Easter comes from this book called, that's right, the Bible. And I know you've already learned a lot of stories from the Bible that we've talked about at school, and they usually have to do with God or Jesus. And all the stories in this book are true stories, and this one is true too. Our story today starts with Jesus and his friends, and they were getting ready to go on a journey on a donkey. And so he got on the donkey so he could start on his journey to a place called Jerusalem. But they were really surprised that he wanted to go to Jerusalem because they knew there were some people in Jerusalem that did not like Jesus. But Jesus said, you know what? I have something I have to do there. So they said, okay. So they went with Jesus. And as they traveled, a big crowd started to come. And they were so excited to see Jesus. They loved Jesus because many of these people he had healed, or maybe made them see if they were blind, or made them hear if they were deaf. And they were so happy to see Jesus that they took off their coats and they laid them down on the ground so that the donkey wouldn't have dirty feet. And they got out palm branches and started waving palm branches as Jesus was walking. They loved Jesus so much that they followed him all the way. Now, the friends came with him, and when they got there, sure enough, they found those people that do not like Jesus. And these people were very upset because Jesus had this crowd following him, and they were kind of jealous. They said, we want the crowd to follow us, not Jesus. So they came up with a very mean plan. Their plan was to capture Jesus and kill him. Now the thing is, Jesus already knew about this. You see, when they came to capture him, he was in a garden. His friends were sleeping. Jesus was not sleeping. Jesus was praying to God. Jesus prayed, Father, I love my friends so much, and I thank you that you love them too. I am ready to give my life for them because I love them so much and I want them to be with us forever and ever. So when these soldiers came to capture him, he didn't even fight back. His friends said, no, you can't take him. He didn't do anything wrong. And they wanted Jesus to fight back, but he said, no, I will go with them because this is what I have to do. This was what he came to Jerusalem to do. So he went with them. The next part of our story is very sad because those leaders and soldiers made Jesus carry a big, heavy wooden cross. And they took him to this place called Golgotha. And he carried the cross the whole way there, and he was so tired, but he didn't complain. And when they got there, they nailed Jesus to the cross, and Jesus died on the cross. The friends were so sad that Jesus had died, and they were confused. And it's okay for us to feel sad and confused about Jesus dying. But the good news is that's not the end of our story. Some of Jesus' friends came and took Jesus' body and wrapped it in a white cloth. And they took him to a big cave, which they call a tomb, a place where they used to take people and put their bodies after they died. And they put Jesus inside there, and they put a big, heavy rock in front of that tomb. And they had soldiers that were guarding the tomb day and night. And those soldiers stayed there for 3 days guarding that tomb. This is where the story gets really exciting, because after 3 days, an angel came. An angel is a messenger from God, and this angel pushed the rock all by himself away from the entrance of the tomb. Well, the soldiers couldn't believe it. When they saw this, they just fell over. They couldn't believe it. Soon after that, Mary came. Mary was one of Jesus's friends. And when she got there, she was scared and confused because there was an angel and the tomb was open and Jesus wasn't inside. But the angel looked at her and said, "Don't be scared. It's okay because Jesus is alive. He's not here." Well, Mary wanted to believe it, but couldn't believe it might be true. Well, sure enough, moments after that, Mary turned around and guess who she saw? That's right, she saw Jesus. It was true, Jesus was alive. This was a miracle. This was amazing. And she couldn't believe it was happening. She was so excited. And Jesus looked at her and smiled and said, "I love you and I'm so happy to see you. Go and tell the others that I am alive and that I will see them very, very soon." Well, friends, this is the story of Easter. And this is so exciting because Jesus loved us so much that he died for us, but he also came back to life so that we could be with him forever and ever. And he did all of these things because he loves you and he loves me. I hope that when you celebrate Easter and remember this story, you remember most of all how much Jesus loves you. See you later.